All right, greetings and salutations, everyone. Welcome to the Crypto Truth, where I give you the truth as I see it. Today, we're going to do something a little bit different. I created a PowerPoint slide just so it'll be a little bit different than usual, but I kind of want to go over what's been happening in the crypto space. And for some of you guys out there, maybe this will help you understand exactly what has happened over the years. And what exactly is going on right now and kind of sort of behind the scenes when it comes to crypto. So let's go ahead and get started. First and foremost, we have to understand what in the world is cryptocurrency. The word crypto in cryptocurrency refers to the special system of encrypting and decrypting information known as cryptography, which is used to secure all transactions sent between users. Cryptography plays a vitally important role in allowing users to freely transact tokens and coins between one another without the need for an intermediary, like a bank, to keep track of each person's balance and ensure the networks remain secure. Now, and ensure the network remains secure. Now, for many of you guys, and by the way, I kind of got a reference down there, CoinDesk. If you Google it, I'm pretty sure CoinDesk will have it down there for you. But really, blockchain was created in 2007, 2008, when the economy just basically crashed. We see that this is about to happen again, or it's happened. It has already happened for most people across the world. We're going to talk about that later. But the main thing is to understand what this was created for, and it was created to not have a need for a bank. We'll get into the securities, the security of a bank, and what the issue is. And why is this a big deal? Perfect segue. It also, it solves a problem that used to make middlemen like banks indispensable, right? And that's a problem, especially here in the United States. Are you going to take a bank's money away? That's a problem. The double spend issue, and that's when a person attempts to spend the same balance twice with two different parties. Now, we've had this problem with checks, right? And believe it or not, we still have some humans who use checks. And it's really an old, really old system. Cryptocurrencies use cryptography to encrypt sensitive information, including the private keys, long alphanumeric strings of characters of crypto holders. Think of private keys as the passwords that determine the ownership of cryptocurrencies. Keep in mind that cryptocurrencies cannot be stored outside of the blockchain. They are permanently based on the blockchain, and henceforth, and right now we're only talking about blockchain right now. So for some of you guys out there, please understand we're going to cover the other DLTs in just a moment. They are permanently based on the blockchain. Hence, when someone says that they own X amount of coins, what they really mean is that their password can legitimately claim X amount of coins on the blockchain. You'll often hear in the cryptocurrency space where someone will say, not your keys, not your cheese. And that's basically if you're in a hot wallet, i.e. Cryptocurrency exchanges, you do not hold your keys. They have a password for you to know that you hold your keys, but you do not hold the keys. They can do anything they want with it. Now, if you have your cryptocurrency on a cold wallet, or i.e. a wallet that's stored on a ledger or Tezos, and you guys can look those up later on. If you have now, you only have the keys, and nobody else does. Some people have memorized their keys to where they have. I'm pretty sure, guys, there are plenty of stories out there, hundreds of thousands of Bitcoin and all kinds of cryptocurrencies that they've stored on their hard wallet, and some people can claim it, and some of it is just lost forever, right? So those are the positives for a blockchain is the fact that if you own the keys, you only own the keys. The bank doesn't own the keys. Nobody owns the keys except for you. So that's a positive thing. We're going to get into some of the negative stuff a little bit later here. Kind of going through, because usually most people who watch my channel are already interested in crypto, but just in case you kind of need an overview on exactly what was going on, I believe this will do. Please make sure you do your own research. For those of you guys who watch my channel often, you know I say do your own research, do your own research, do your own research. All right, let's move on. All right, so there are many different possibilities within, and this is from Blockchain 101, as you can see, within the crypto space. There are different kinds of blockchains. So Bitcoin is run on a blockchain. Now, I know all of this is a little bit complicated, right? Because, well, the United States, and I'm saying the United States, I'm sorry I have to pick on the United States, but I'm from this country, so I can. But we're still piddling around trying to figure out how to use blockchain and try to make rules and regulations. And what? Blockchain has been out for 10 years now, and you mean to tell me you don't have anything yet? And so they don't understand. A lot of people here in America don't understand that there are many different kinds of distributed ledger technologies. And it says, simply explain here, distributed ledger is a form of digital database that is updated and held by every member independently in a large network space. In this type of ledger, there isn't any central authority to broadcast the records to every member. Every kind of DLT has its own way to reach an agreement while storing the information on the ledger. This is extremely important, and this is why you have to do your own research. I forgot to completely and totally delete the header down at the bottom. Please forgive me on that. So here are the different types of DLTs and how they work. The blockchain. The blockchain is a type of DLT where transaction records are kept in the ledger as a chain of blocks. Think of it as a long list of records, right? It's a ledger. Now, there's a long list of records of, this person did this, this person did this, this person did this. So how does it work? Once a transaction takes place, the nodes on the network verify it. After verification, the transaction gets a unique hash ID along with recent transaction hash ID and gets stored in the ledger. Once it gets added to the ledger, no one can alter or delete the transaction. So basically, once the transaction is made, nothing can erase it. So if something was done on blockchain, right, it's there forever. Like, there's no hiding it. It's there forever. Now, a lot of people might say, well, that doesn't sound like it's decentralized if everybody can see exactly. Well, really, the transactions are the only thing that can that is recognized that you cannot delete. So as far as identity is concerned, that is a huge issue that we're going to talk about later, that a lot of lawmakers have with blockchain. Now, many of you already know that Bitcoin and blockchain are the main things. So what are the rest of this stuff? Well, I'm going to explain that. So I'm going to spend a little bit of time here. I do recommend you guys go on Blockchain 101 and kind of look at it for yourselves, because I'm going to go through this very quickly. So the next thing is a DAG. In a DAG, every transaction gets stored on the ledger in topological order. It's a sequence where every transaction is directed from the previous one to the next one in the sequence. So how does it work? Well, once a transaction takes place, it needs to be validated to be added to the ledger. However, to validate it, the transaction needs to validate two previous transactions to call itself valid. Here, a sequence of transactions is called branch, and the longer the branch goes, the more valid all the transactions become. So this is, as you guys can kind of see here, this is kind of like, it's not quite exactly like blockchain, but you can kind of see that there are different, I wouldn't call them blocks, but there are different types of ways to transact here. Now, I'm going to let you guys know right now, many of you guys who watch my channel, and women, I say guys all the time, so please forgive me. But many of you all who watch my channel, please understand, I am not a huge tech guy. You don't have to be a huge tech guy to really understand what is going on. If you do your research, then you'll be able to find out and be more educated on what's going on without necessarily having to be a huge blockchain person, blockchain tech, genius. All right, Hashgraph. So obviously, for many of you guys know that Hedera Hashgraph, use the Hashgraph, and it's a multifaceted as well because some of these other ones use it as well. But in Hashgraph, there can be multiple transactions stored on a ledger on the same timestamp. All transactions are stored in a parallel structure. Here, every record on the ledger is called an event. Hashgraph uses a gossip protocol to relay the information about a transaction. Once a transaction takes place, the neighboring nodes share that information with the other nodes, and after some time, all the nodes will know about the transaction. Gossiping. With the help of the virtual voting protocol, every node validates the transaction and then it gets added to the ledger. So that's how Hashgraph works. Now, many of you guys know, I do know that Holo Hosting will be using whispering or gossiping, some kind of gossip protocol. But do your own research on that one. It gets very, very deep. All these projects are, oh, wow, I went the wrong way. Let me see if I can go back here. I apologize. All of these projects here are very, very deep and very, very complicated. So if you guys follow my channel, you'll know that I'm a huge Holochain fan. Now, many of you guys might ask, well, why in the world you choose Holochain rather than all the other ones? I tell you why. Because I did my own research. So, and I'm going to leave it at that. All right, but Holochain is a different kind of DLT that moves on from the data-centric structure to agent-centric structure. So how does it work? In this structure, every node on the network has their own ledger that they maintain. There isn't any global validation process, but the Holochain network maintains a set of rules called the DNA to verify each individual's ledger. So while you may have it on blockchain that everybody have to, you have to have all these transactions and everybody see, here it's agent centric. So it's just, hey, the validation goes from one point to another, and that is all. Obviously, it's a little bit more deeper than that, but you guys know. Do your own research on that one. This is just an overview. Reddits. Tempo is a different kind of distributed ledger technology where the transactions are added on the ledger in order of event rather than timestamps. So how does it work? Every node on the network maintains a piece of the main ledger called a shard. And if you're not new to crypto space, sharding is a huge buzzword. So please take a look at that. Called a shard, and synchronized using the gossip protocol to validate the transaction. Nodes follow the sequence of a transaction rather than the timestamp. So you guys have all kinds of different DLTs, distributed ledger technologies. And so while we're still, a lot of people are still trying to figure out what in the world blockchain is, we have all this other stuff to have to try to understand. And what's happening is technology is moving way faster than governments would like, or rule makers and lawmakers would like, and they quite don't know how to handle it. All right. So what are the government excuses, right? They say, early on, only criminals use crypto. Like people who are trying to get away from the law. It's too volatile. One day you're at 50,000, the next day you're at 30,000. Proof of work. So please understand that if you're new to the crypto space, proof of work, proof of stake, and there's other proofs out there. I think proof of history is another one. They have all kinds of proofs, but they're saying that proof of work is dangerous to the ecosystem. Now, I kind of sort of agree a little bit with this, but we're going to talk about this a little bit later. We want to protect the investors. Oh, yeah. It's like playing the lottery. It's too complicated. Look. Come on. Stick with a bank. You don't want to have to deal with all this hassle and stuff like that. It's just too complicated, right? And finally, it's decentralized. Decentralized. What? Are you saying without a government entity, it's going to be pure chaos, right? And I kind of like this little picture here. It says crypto digitally encrypted. Basically, it's showing you how it's sent, how digital currencies that can be sent, what digital currencies that can be sent electronically. That's what cryptocurrency is. And then over here, down here, it says crypto decentralized, digital medium exchange, limited supply, generated by computers, anonymous, and we have over here fiat, centralized, physical medium of exchange, unlimited supply. And in one of my future holochain videos, I'm going to talk about unlimited supply because I don't like unlimited supply. Issued by governments, right? So the government says, hey, this is a promissory note that if you give the store $1.58, if that is what they charge for their drink, they are to give you the item and that you're asking for. Not anonymous. So it's not anonymous. I will say fiat cash is very anonymous. We're going to get into that in just a second here. Here are the risks: hackers, scams, no protection, volatility. You know, some of the things I've said over here. As of 18, more than 1,600 types of cryptocurrencies with a total value of more than 300 billion. And look, they even have, let me go back, sorry. They even have some of these Bitcoin, Ethereum, Ripple. Some of you guys, Ripple is not on your exchange. I don't even know why they don't put XRP here. Instead, they put Ripple. I'm going to talk about that later, but that's a complicated one. If you're new to crypto space, you might want to educate yourself on XRP and Ripple, just so you know exactly what it is. Bitcoin Cash, EOS, Stellar, Litecoin, Cardano, IOTA, and Tether. And basically two of these, IOTA and Ripple or XRP, not too many people are talking about anymore. And back and this is just a couple years ago in 2018. So in 2018, these were all like awesome, even Litecoin. Nobody's talking about Litecoin. Nobody's talking about IOTA, and nobody's talking about Bitcoin Cash either, and nobody's talking about Ripple or XRP. Really, XRP is the coin. So we have a lot that's going on within the crypto space, and it changes constantly. And right now, we have no clear winner as far as what's going to be used. So these are the government excuses as to why you don't really want to use cryptocurrency. However, I have 99 problems and crypto ain't one of them. The excuses that they have, the governments have given, have kind of waned away, but I'd like to give some people a little education. Cash-intensive sources of illicit income include human smuggling, bribery, contraband, smuggling, extortion, fraud, illegal gambling, kidnapping, and prostitution. Drug trafficking, however, is probably the most significant single source of illicit cash. According to the World Health Organization, worldwide, approximately 5 million people die yearly from smoking. Now, we have taken a dramatic turn, right? So we have all of these problems, and we're going to talk about cryptocurrency being a problem as far as trafficking. But really, statistics show that, and you can look this up for yourselves. By the way, you guys, I'm not a huge reference guy. Please just go out and do your research for your own selves. And then, because I don't have time. I just don't. And so, yeah, I know a lot of people out there, oh, you're a trusted source. Please, if you do your own research, then you'll understand that what I'm saying is absolutely true. And it'll just back up what I'm saying. So we have problems with, we have 5 million people worldwide. 5 million people worldwide dying yearly from smoking. I think there was something else out there that was going around. I'm pretty sure, you know what, I'm not even going to get into it. All right, next. The world lost 20 million acres of primary forest between 1990 and 2020. Oh, so you mean to tell me out of all the problems that we having, especially about Bitcoin mining and how it's destroying the earth and everything else in between, we lost 20 million acres of primary forest between 1990 and 2020. That's between 1990 and 2020. I need you guys to understand that that is huge. So no, in my own personal life, I don't think these 20 million acres of primary forest needed it to be destroyed, but we destroyed it anyway. All right, the facts are pretty stark. Over 98% of people who gamble, 98% of people gamble, lose money overall, and that's pretty shocking. It means very few people actually have anything to show from their betting activity, and some people have sadly made huge gambling losses, and yet millions of people around the world still carry on betting legally, I might add, many of them on a regular basis. Are you protecting your consumer when they're out gambling? I know that over here in the U.S., I don't know how it is in other countries, and forgive my ignorance, but over here in the U.S., we do have a lot of native sites to where if you are within like native grounds or native space, then they control the gambling and they receive a lot of the profit for the gambling. You're not allowed to gamble anywhere else on their land. So in the state of Florida, like if the whole entire state of Florida, you have to go offshore, certain miles offshore, just to gamble, and that's how the cruise lines do it. So yeah, it's crazy. But I don't see anybody protecting us from this. By the way, that was 5 million people die yearly from smoking. I chose smoking because it's my own personal thing. I can't stand it. But let's talk about secondhand smoking, right? Secondhand smoking is still added problems. So between all of this stuff, and believe you me, according to, especially in other people's personal lives, there's even more stuff than this. And you mean to try to tell me that they are trying to look out for you when you want to spend $500, $600 on a crypto project? They have a problem with it if you make $50, $60, or $80,000 off of that $500, and they want a piece of the pie. Give me a break. All right, enough of that soliloquy. Moving on. Fear rules all. I like this quote here. The greatest fear in the world is of the opinions of others. And the moment you are unafraid of the crowd, you are no longer a sheep. You become a lion. A great roar arises in your heart, the roar of freedom. Now, this aligns with what I'm doing in the background. I know I told you guys it's coming very, very soon. I'm like on the cusp of getting things done, just so I can start introducing exactly what I'm doing. But look, especially when it comes to cryptocurrencies, I had a guy, one of my buddies, and he told me, he's like, I know I mentioned him before. He said, I don't know how you thinking about getting into cryptocurrency. I don't care what they are. I mean, even Bitcoin, that's the biggest one. China has even deemed it illegal. Now, this was like the I think the second or third time. Now, China has deemed cryptocurrency illegal, like, I don't know, 18 times. Like, I guess they want to be in the news. I don't know. But you'll quickly see, if you do your research, that they didn't really they got rid of the mining, and they didn't really get rid of the Bitcoin, and there's some other secret stuff going on over in China. And you guys know I keep an eye on China. I have my reasons for that from a grand scheme point of view. But look, you guys, whether it's cryptocurrency, whatever it is in your life, you can't allow fear, the fear of, well, I can't do this by myself. I can't learn this. I can't own my own money. The world is too bad. I can't live. I can't, I have to do things a certain way. You cannot stay a sheep forever. You have to do your own research and understand that you can move forward in life. You really can. We all can. And, that happens when we do it together. And we're going to talk about that a little bit later. All right. Well, very quickly. The importance of community. So within the crypto space, we have a community, right? And unfortunately, the crypto space, you'll see that the crypto space don't really get along with each other. You got people in Cardano talking bad about crypto, talking about people who are Ethereum, and talking about people who support Bitcoin and blockchain. Charles Hoskinson talked about this quite recently, and I was really impressed with what he said. And what he said was absolutely true. We have a lot of Bitcoin maximalists out there that are like, man, it's the only thing out there, and it's the bee's knees, and everything else is going to go to zero, and there's no need for anything else but Bitcoin. Right. I'm not a Bitcoin maximalist. I'm not a maximalist of anything. I believe that technology we should come together, and we should talk about crypto and make real solutions. Okay, real solutions to the problems that we're having. And it doesn't happen with one crypto project or one blockchain or one hollow chain project or one hetero project. It happens when we come together and we say, okay, how can we do this? But we have problems when we have a community that's destroying each other. It does sadden me quite often. So when I see people, I give you guys a great example. In my life, I grew up in a black neighborhood, and historic black neighborhood, and when I see people destroying themselves and destroying each other and talking bad about each other and breaking each other down, it's like, really. And then I look at things from a grand scale, not just from being black or being an American or whatever. I look at it from a grand scale, and a lot of people are really destroying each other, and we are stronger together, all of us. When I was over in Afghanistan, I just recently found some pictures of me in Afghanistan, taking pictures with some of the Afghanis, and they really liked me, and I liked them, and we talked, and it was pretty cool. But they talked about how a lot of people, they disagree on religious stuff, and they're destroying each other, and there's just a lot of stuff going on. When in crypto space, there's really no need for all of this. At the end of the day, we're going to find out. We're going to find out who's going to win. And I know that blockchain, cryptocurrency, hollow chain, whatever you want to call it, is going to make it. These technologies out here are going to make it. There's just not going to be one. So what happens when you stick together? You stick together. And some people, they stay together. They say, okay, well, we'll just agree to disagree. Well, that works sometimes. But really, when you build a community, over here, you want to create solutions. And then I like this one here. It says, the problems tend to be simple. It's the solutions that can be complicated, right? And we can't do that when we're, fighting each other and struggling trying to do things. Hey, this guy could easily pass the Rubik's Cube to someone else and say, okay, let's figure this out together. Oh, no, you messed up here. Let's do this way. Okay, let's do this way. And when we get together and we start creating solutions, it's a really wonderful thing. It makes us stronger as human beings. It makes us come together as human beings. And not only that, but we can live more efficiently as well. All right. So let's talk some numbers here. There's a reason why, so please stick with me through this. At the very top, these are annual numbers of death, and this is throughout the world. So as of 2016. I didn't find a recent one. I'm pretty sure you guys can find a recent one. Cardiovascular disease, cancers, respiratory disease, diabetes, blood, all of these. Now, these are in the millions, right? Look at this. Look at this. All of these. So right here, we can stop at HIV, AIDS. We got road incidents. So other than 1.3 neonatal deaths, out of all of these, right? All of this. These are the number of people dying annually, and these are the reasons. Now, obviously, if you're older, a lot of older people, they're gonna die naturally from natural causes, and that's understandable. But let's look at the rest of the stuff here. HIV, AIDS, towards the bottom part, right? So we got 17 million, 8 million, and 3 million. All of these combined, we're looking at least 28 to 29, probably 30 million. Not good with math, but probably around 30 million deaths. And I can guarantee you that is minimal compared to all of these. Kidney disease, suicide, malaria, homicide, nutritional deficiencies, meningitis, protein energy malnutrition, drowning, maternal deaths, Parkinson's disease, alcohol disorder, intestinal infectious disease, drug or disorder, hepatitis, fire, conflict, heat-related deaths, hot or cold, terrorism, and natural disasters. Folks, let me tell you something. I don't see cryptocurrency anywhere on the list. I don't see why there are no solutions to these types of problems that are killing people on a daily basis, where our tech and our medicine have improved, but it hasn't gone as far as it needs to go. And our world is too busy, and that's including where starvation. I think, was starvation on here? Protein, energy, malnutrition. I think that might be it. Oh, let me go back. So all of these things, and yes, I'm kind of getting on my soapbox here, but all of these things are extremely important. And so for the human race, and I'm talking about the human race, for the human race to survive, these should probably be our main issues that we're talking about and solving these problems. And I guarantee you, especially when it comes to food, solving world hunger, educating people, all of these different things, just having clean water and soap, all of these things should be more important than trying to, find out how you can tax people in cryptocurrencies, or finding out how to diminish the people, or in one country restricting people from being online because they don't want them investing themselves in cryptocurrency when they literally have people starving to death within their own borders. Give me a break. It's very difficult for me not to curse on here, but give me a break. So when these people, these politicians, and everyone talk about numbers, and you're just talking about something else, or that's just a different thing. Why isn't this the top priority of speeches? Why aren't these things being discussed? I'll tell you why. Because it does not affect their numbers. It does not hurt them when it comes to their income, and that's what our governments are about. So, I'm gonna leave it at that. I'm gonna try Sorry, guys. I'm calm. All right, so let me go ahead and finish because this has to do with cryptocurrency. I'm just letting you guys understand and kind of give you guys a perspective on what's really happening within the world, because these are important things. Life is not important. Life is not the important thing in this world, in this society that we live in today. All right, let's move forward. All right, so risk versus reward, right? I love this right here. No matter how many Pokemons are dancing in this enclosure, if you enter, the bison will kill you. Do not enter. And somebody was like, what the hell happened here? Or somebody put a meme here. What the hell happened here? All right, so for some of you guys who don't know, Pokemon Go was like this big, huge game, right? Still is kind of sort of big. And that's when you walk around with your cell phone and you're playing on it and stuff like that, and you're not paying attention because you're trying to catch that Pokemon, and they're located all across the world, right? And so they use AR technology. I think they didn't use AR technology. I think they're using AR technology now, but they augmented reality for some of you guys who don't know, but they would just try to catch this Pokemon, right, on their phones. Well, accidents started to happen. People started to get hit by cars and run over, and apparently a bison may or may have not attacked an individual playing Pokemon Go. So, I don't know whether they thought the bison was a type of Pokemon, which there's a bison that's similar to Pokemon. So why am I saying all of this? Please, people, you have to understand risk versus reward. Okay? You have to understand, all right, what's more important in my life? And I understand that it is to my understanding that a lot of people would rather pay $1, right, every single day to play Powerball or whatever, or to play lottery, right, every single day, for a very, very extremely near impossible chance to make life-changing money, right? So if you did that, you take $365. Let's say you took $365, and in 2000, I don't know, let's go with 2008. Let's go with 2010. You put $300 and some, and I can just name a random XRP because, yeah, why not? If you put $365 in XRP back in the day when it was barely even a cent, how much money do you think you have now? But they tell you that, oh man, it's risky. It is risky. A lot of these projects are risky. You want to know why? Because they haven't fully matured. And some of them, their projects haven't proven themselves. If you look at Solana, who's went down a couple of times, the recent incident with Terra Luna, to where their coins went down by some algorithm, and boy oh boy, I'm going to be coming up. I'm going to be talking about algorithms in my next video, actually my very next video, with Holochain, because I think that that's an important topic that we need to discuss. But you have to understand what the risk and what the reward is. And for some of you guys out there who say, well, I don't think these people they don't do their own research and all of this, and they don't do anything, or they just trust millionaires. A lot of people don't do their own research, and I'm telling you to do your own research. And I'm letting you know that even if you do your own research, there's a possibility that you could lose your money. But is it worth it? Because the last time I checked, not many of us live to be 120 years old. There's only a couple of people in the world that lives to 120 and beyond. And so you need to take care of yourself. A lot of people really want life-changing money because the way the world is, there's no other way. They don't see it any kind of other way. So what happens where all the people who play lottery put their money into something together in which everybody benefits, even just a little bit, even if they only did it one time a year? What would happen? to maybe, I don't know, some technology or some, not technology, but some program in which it says, okay, well, we're going to take care of all the kids for a day, and everybody, all the parents can go out on a date. I don't know. I'm just naming something. But you guys see there's a risk and reward there. And everything in life, it doesn't matter what it is. You guys can look it up. I'm not going to give you silly quotes. But everything in life deals with risk and reward. It just is. Am I going to quit my job and do something that I really want to do? You know the risk and reward. Am I going to not go to college and instead I'm going to get a I don't know, a CDL or a there's a or go to tech school, right? There's risk and reward there. Although, you know, there's a lot to be said with tech schools. And there's an interview, by the way, I'm gonna cut in here, and that was an interview by Johnny with Hollow Cell Technologies, and he talked about you know, all of this, a lot of money being forgiven and money going into different places instead of money going to helping people in tech schools actually be able to rebuild the economy. And that I do agree with. We need people to be more to have more specific things in their life, that more jobs and more career oriented jobs that they can do, that they know for a fact they can have. And then they can also use other stuff as well. But, you know, obviously there's a risk and reward there. So if you want to open up your own business, if you want to be an entrepreneur, if you want to be a philosophist, if you want to be whatever you want to be, just know that there's a risk and a reward there. And so right now, there's a lot of risks and a lot of reward with everything. And again, right now the rewards, people are finding it hard to find rewards in anything. So I don't blame people for taking a risk, and I don't blame people for saying, hey, you know what, I'm going to take all my money and throw it into Bitcoin. I believe in it. And some people have done that in the past. They put all their money into Bitcoin and they ended up being like these multimillionaires. The news outlets won't tell you about that. But that's the truth. But at what cost, right? What did they do? What did they sacrifice to get there? So everyone need to look within themselves to find out what their risk and what their reward is. For me personally, by the way, I'm not a financial advisor. I cannot tell you what to do with your own money and what your own cash and the energy that you have used to earn whatever you have. But I will tell you this. Make sure that whatever you do, however you use your funds, make sure that it's going to benefit you in the long run. In the long run, not the short run. I can't do short run stuff. All right, moving forward. So I'm going to give you guys one truth here, and that is there will be a lot of losers within the crypto space. And why? Because their project is either not sound or have absolutely no utility whatsoever. And buddy, if you can't take this, you can't handle the truth. Because that, my friends, is the truth. I ask that I want to thank all of you guys for hanging in there with me. I just wanted to kind of do this quick PowerPoint slide to overview some of the things that I wanted to talk about. You guys, please, 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 as I always say, do your own research, do your own research, do your own research. And last but not least, friends, please, above all else out there, stay safe out there. Bye, you guys.